Hello guys, it's WazzaTZK, and today is going to be more of a follow-up video to a previous Killing Floor 3 video I did. So 2 weeks ago I did a video reacting to the Killing Floor 3 trailer, giving my thoughts and opinions, and 2 weeks later I've rewatched the trailer a few times and I've noticed a few minor details which I actually didn't notice at first. And so today I'm going to be discussing just mini Easter egg, mini details in the trailer which you may have not noticed, because I definitely did not notice this at first. Now, the first thing which surprisingly took me a while to notice was Moorcroft on the terminal. At the start of the trailer you can see employee 2111887 Moorcroft E, and I didn't notice this at first, but I didn't notice there was an actual employee. It looks like they started the terminal. And the real question is, who is Moorcroft? We don't know for sure, to be honest, because it is very early in Killing Floor 3 development, and I've tried looking in the internet, but there's no other information about Moorcroft in Killing Floor. He didn't appear in Killing Floor 1 or 2, so this might be a new character we're going to see in the new Killing Floor. And by the information we've got already, it looks like he's an employee of Horzine. As you can see, he has an employee tag number. He might possibly be an employee, or he could be using someone else's ID. We don't know for sure, because it's very early in development, like we said. And if you noticed in the background, there's actually a logo on the background of the terminal, which took me ages to actually realise there was a logo there, even though there is literally quite obviously a logo. And that logo is actually the Horzine logo. So what they've done is, in Killing Floor 3, they've actually rebranded the Horzine logo. As you can see on the silo door, which is holding all the Zs, you can see there is that same logo on the door. Also, in one of the images for the Killing Floor 3 game, there is even another view of the logo. And I'm not sure I like this new logo. I much prefer the old logo, which looked more like a H from Killing Floor 2. That way you know it's Horzine. And I know this did actually confuse many people at first, because all of the Killing Floor 3 videos I watched, people were like, is this Nightfall, is this Horzine, who is it? But I've looked a bit further into this, and I can confirm that it is, in fact, the Horzine group who has that logo. And if you look closer at the logo, it looks like there's 3 towers in the logo. Maybe to suggest like a metro futuristic cyberpunk city kind of thing, if you get what I mean. So yeah, Horzine has a new logo, and like I said before, I much prefer the Killing Floor 2 version, because it actually looks more like a H, which you'd instantly recognise as Horzine. But at the same time, I kind of like the Killing Floor 3 logo, because again, it has that futuristic look to it. Also, something else which I've noticed many people pointing out in the trailer is when the silo door opens, you can see there's flesh pounds grouped up. But however, if you look closely, you can see some smaller Z, and they look a bit more bony. As you can see, they look more like a walking skeleton. And I think that is a crawler. It's not confirmed as of yet what it is. It could be anything, but I think it looks more like a crawler due to its posture and the way it, walks. Well, not walks, but moves, rather. And as you can see at the top, we've even got some hanging Zs as well, which look like clots. So there's plenty of details which the average person would definitely miss in watching a trailer, and it only is noticeable if you rewatch it 12 or 200 times. Also, something else I wanted to point out is the hologram in the back of this picture. As you can see, there's a model of some person there, and I'm surprised that no one's actually picked that up yet. Because out of all the Killing Floor 3 videos I've watched, no one's actually really commented on that. And it's really difficult to determine what that is. It looks more like a flesh pound, but at the same time his hands look a bit too human, whereas he has them claws and stuff. It could be a Scrake, but I can't see a chainsaw attachment. It could either be a model of a Patriarch, but without his minigun. Maybe that's just like a first beta model of what he looks like. Like maybe when Horzine were developing a Z, they were basing it off that, maybe. But it is interesting, because no one's actually commented on that as far as I know. Like, I've literally watched like loads of Killing Floor 3 videos, and I haven't seen a single person like really comment on that. But you can tell it definitely looks like a Z, because it doesn't look very human. But at the same time, it might be a Patriarch, but then again, he doesn't have the minigun attachments, and in Killing Floor 2, he looked a lot bigger than that, so I don't think it is that, because in Killing Floor 2, the Patriarch doesn't look very human, whereas the model which we see here does look a little bit human. So I'm thinking more of a flesh pound or Scrake. And finally, there's something in this picture which I wanted to discuss. Like, if you look closely, you can sort of see like a body squashed between like two big cargo wagons kind of thing. And I don't know if that looks like a Horzine employee or maybe a Nightfall rebel. But if I had to guess, I'd probably say that is a Horzine employee, as this does look like a Horzine facility. So they look like they've been squashed already by the time, the rebel group got there. And that's it basically. There's not really much else to pick out from this trailer. Some main things which I do want to talk about is the Horzine logo. For me, this is the biggest feature which I've noticed. It did take me a while to notice because I had to rewatch the trailer a few times, but I can confirm now that that is actually the Horzine logo. I watched quite a few Killing Floor 3 videos where people are like, oh, is that a Nightfall group logo? Is that the Horzine group logo? But no, that is the Horzine group logo. And it's fairly obvious from the terminal that it is the Horzine group. Because why would Horzine have a rebel group logo on a terminal of an employee? Also, another big thing which hasn't yet been revealed is who is Moorcroft? Like, obviously he's an employee from, like, the terminal. Well, that's all we really know. And also another thing, which I haven't picked up yet on, is the tag next to his employee name. 2111887. Like, is that the number of employees they have at Horzine, or is that just like a random tag they made up? I mean, I don't think they have 2 million employees at Horzine, despite them having labs around the world. But I don't know, like, there could possibly be 2 million employees, because there is labs like everywhere, which is how the outbreak is spreading so quickly. But then again, I think it's just an employee number, so it's nothing too much to look into. Alright, so one more thing I wanted to talk about was the Killing Floor 3 wiki, which has actually been released by the official Tripwire group. As you can see, Tripwire logo there. They've recently released this, although due to Killing Floor 3 being a new thing, they haven't actually added any information. As you can see, your help is appreciated. We appreciate your assistance in editing existing pages. They're still looking for people to edit the wiki, although I doubt they're going to add anything because the game is still new and they don't really want to give away anything until release. However, there is a few interesting tabs on here, such as gadgets. And I don't know what it means by gadgets. Like, is that incendiary grenades, like Semtex grenades, or like some goggles which allow you to see in the dark? What are they? I didn't know Killing Floor 3 had gadgets. And if it's the kind of gadgets I think about, like how James Bond has like an EMP watch or something, like, if it's like them kind of gadgets, then that'll be interesting, but I highly doubt it's going to be anything like that. It's just going to be like grenades and stuff. Also, another thing that I found interesting is factions. And from the looks of the wiki, it looks like they may have more than one faction, like other than Nightfall, which could be something interesting to look out for. As So far as we know, there's only the Nightfall rebel group. However, if there's a page on the wiki that's dedicated to factions, then that shows there's going to be more than one faction other than Nightfall, which is something to look out for. Also, something else which I've noticed is bosses. And as it's called bosses instead of boss, that obviously goes to show we're going to have more than one boss in Killing Floor 3, which is good. So we might see the return of the Matriarch, or Hans, or even Abomination or King Fleshbound. They might even add more than that, who knows? It's very early in development, so who knows what's going to happen. So yeah, like I said before, there's nothing actually been added to the wiki yet. They've just set this up as like a template. Like, if my Wi-Fi isn't so slow, there you go. Yeah, as you can see, they haven't added anything yet. It's just a template which they're going to use on the release of the game. As you see, they don't have anything for weapons. Go into factions. You'd expect there to be some information about Nightfall, but obviously they're not releasing anything until the game releases. Yeah, they've got one thing on here, like for official videos, but that's just a reveal teaser which we've already seen and covered. And yeah, that's it basically. That's literally all we know from the trailer and the wiki. And apologies if this video is a little bit lackluster or boring. There's not really much to pick out from the trailer and stuff, because it is very early in development and they haven't really released much. Like most of the things which I've picked up on, such as that Z model in the background, we still don't know exactly what that is. That could be literally anything. However, at least we did confirm that the Horzine logo has been changed. Like, I know many people got that logo confused with the Nightfall group, but now that I've cleared that up, I hope you understand it's the Horzine group. But yeah, not very much to pick up, because Killing Floor 3 devs haven't really released much, apart from the teaser trailer. But yeah, that's literally all there is to it, really. If I have missed something which you think looks important, then do comment down below and I'll have a look. But yeah, that's it for me, and I'll see you next time.